Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our citizens. We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Well, oh boy, it just doesn't stop with these Democrats. First you got this scum.
And you know how I know that it's working is it used to be enough that the President of the United States would say that he's a socialist. But now he calls me a communist. Because the socialism just isn't hitting the way it used to.
And you got your new up-and-coming star, socialist communist in Minneapolis. I tell you, oh boy.
Everyone keeps asking me, Omar, why aren't you doing more videos? As a state senator with a second full-time job and a kid on the way, I just haven't been able to find the time. I've also been fighting for you, passing things like tuition-free college for working-class families, rideshare protections for our Uber and Lyft drivers, and the legalization of fentanyl testing strips. But this summer, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of me because we deserve nice things in Minneapolis too. To make an affordable Minneapolis that works for everyone, we need a mayor that works as hard as you do. I'm ready to work hard to 1. Build a Minneapolis that working people can afford to call home. 2. Protect our city from a hostile White House. And 3. Diversify our city's public safety response. By increasing the minimum wage to $20 by 2028 and passing rent stabilization to stop price gouging and incentivizing new construction, we can protect workers. Protecting all of our communities from Donald Trump means not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for an immigration raid or not. Our residents deserve a mayor that will stand up to Donald Trump and say, no, not in our community. Did you know that the city's own data showed that 47% of calls to MPD can be diverted to non-police response? Cops aren't social workers. Investments in programs like these ensure that the appropriate response arrives when we call 911. And we can actually free up police resources to focus on violent crime that detracts from community safety. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my campaign managers again. They've been on my case all week about make more videos. I'll find the time tomorrow.
Please, y'all go do us a big favor and just put his hands behind his back. He just admitted it in the video. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, these people are crazy, man. These Democrats are crazy. Oh boy, so Somali is our home, even though he was born and raised here.
We should make dua for him and pray for him. I understand that our Somali communities are all connected to each other here in Minnesota and back home, and I ask for your support. There's always been a link between our community here as well as back home, and I'm running to bridge that gap and unite all of us and represent all of us, because when we succeed here, we succeed everywhere. And I'm hoping to do that just like Abdrazak, inshallah.
Tell y'all, same script, same playbook.
Why aren't you doing more?
Same stuff.
Everyone keeps asking me, Omar, why aren't you doing more videos? As a state families, rideshare protections for our Uber and Lyft.
New York City, I know getting back
Same playbook, same script.
on your feet after a long holiday weekend is tough, but here's some news that'll put some pep in your step. Like all campaigns, we hired a research firm to poll New Yorkers. What they just found? It's very exciting. Just voting. Firmly in second place behind Andrew Cuomo, with the next percent and Cuomo at 56. That's a 12-point gap. Here, while a third of New Yorkers...
Same script, same playbook.
The second complaint was that Fateh didn't respond when his brother-in-law, Musa Mohammed, was convicted of lying to a federal grand jury about ballots he turned in on behalf of other voters in 2020 without their permission.
So based on the advice of my lawyer, I'm again going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right and decline to answer.
Dawson Kimian was Fateh's campaign manager, but took the Fifth Amendment repeatedly when asked about the campaign. Eventually, the panel dropped the second complaint, finding no evidence that Fateh knew about the ballot situation.
It's almost like some of these left-leaning cities are having a crazy off,
you know? And I'm not saying Omar's crazy, but his policies, his ideas that you're going to see him express here in a second certainly are, in my opinion. Y'all, this is Fry at the funeral. And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead. Of course, it helps we do. Now, y'all, today, this is kind of an interesting story because, you know, we talk about the mayor of Boston. We talk about the illustrious mayor of Chicago, sub 10% approval rating, Brandon Johnson.
Yeah. How do you have a 6, and it's worse than that now, but how do you get down to a 6.6 approval rating? They ought to walk Fro Hawk Daddy out in handcuffs. Walk his butt out in handcuffs. It's a lot of them that need to be walked out in handcuffs. A whole bunch of them. You know, they should have we should have been made an example out of a lot of people, man. A lot of people ought to been made an example out of. Walked out with their hands behind their back.
And we'll probably be back with a story about him tomorrow once he has another one of his press conferences. But you know who we don't talk about enough, y'all? This guy up in Minneapolis, man. His name is Fry or Frey. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to say Fry. This guy is funny. You know, I mean, at least to me, this guy is funny. But he has a new challenger. And as you can see from X, this new challenger, Omar Fateh, he is challenging Fry or Frey to be the new mayor of Minneapolis. Now, why am I covering Omar? Why am I covering Mr. Fateh? Well, and that's not him, by the way, y'all. People are making fun of the way he looks.
Whoa!
I'm not gonna do that. I don't do that sort of thing. Why?
Oh,
so why am I covering him? Like,
the funniest one I seen was the movie with the ship. That's the funniest one I seen earlier. I showed y'all that earlier. I was cracking up, man. Oh boy. Hey, the internet is undefeated. Yeah, they call him Mr. Pirate. Mr. Pirate Man. The internet's undefeated, y'all. Hey, all I can do is come here and have a good laugh, man. Politics is already dirty. So we got to come here and just have a good time, a good laugh. You know, y'all come on and have a good laugh with your boy. Stop being so stuck up, man. You know? My boy say, why is there so many terrorist simps in our government? Yeah, I'll tell you.
Because this guy is of the Mamdani mold, y'all. Fateh, he wants to stabilize your rent. He wants to defund the police. You know, he's using a different term for that. We'll get into that in a second. He wants to basically implement all of these progressive policies that we've been hearing about, you know, the AOC type of stuff. So we're going to cover him today because I think this is going to be interesting. It's almost like some of these left-leaning cities are having a crazy off, you know, and I'm not saying Omar's crazy, but his policies, his ideas that you're going to see him express here in a second certainly are, in my opinion. Maybe I shouldn't say crazy, just way out there. So y'all, what we're going to do is take a look at a juxtaposition. That's one of my words. He is one of the more recognizable of the two. So as you can see in this video, Fry, he is of the Michelle Wu ilk. He wants everybody who doesn't have permission to be in the country to come to his city where they're going to give them free stuff. And he's going to say, hey, look, we aren't even going to keep numbers. We're not even going to count. We don't even want to know who's in our city when they're not even in the country with permission. Let's take a look. But before we do, y'all,
in the city of Minneapolis, we will stand up for you, and we will do anything in our power to help. Because you're not an alien in our city, you're a neighbor. Now, in Minneapolis, we have what is called a separation ordinance. And that separation ordinance states clearly that our city officials, our police officers and beyond, will not be gathering information showing who is and who is not documented. We do not ask the question with regard to immigration status, and because we haven't asked the question, we don't have any data to show documentation status in our city. Our police officers will not be cooperating with federal law enforcement around federal immigration law. We enforce state and local laws here in Minneapolis, and we will do so to the best of our ability. But as for cooperation with ICE, The answer is no.
Now, as you can see, Fry, he's radical. But I have to show y'all this. Many of you have probably already seen this video before, but you just have to see it again. Y'all, this is Fry at the funeral for George Floyd. Now, I'm not taking any shots at George Floyd. What happened to George Floyd was tragic. I don't want anybody in my comments talking about who was responsible, who wasn't. That's not the point. He passed.
Doped up. A dopafina.
The way it's tragic, however you look at it. But Fry, is this performative or not, y'all? This looks performative to me, like, you know, like he's auditioning for a movie, you know? So now that we have Fry, we kind of have a sense for who Fry is. Let's take it.
They're all great actors. Great actors, all of them.
Let's take a look at Mr. Omar Fateh. Let's look at this video of what Mr. Fateh says he wants to do with Minneapolis. Spoiler alert, he's Somali, I believe. That's why I'm using the term Somali Mamdani, right? Because he's Somali and he sounds almost exactly like Mamdani. Let's take a look.
Everyone keeps asking me, Omar, why aren't you doing more videos? As a state senator with a second full-time job and a kid on the way, I just haven't been able to find the time. I've also been fighting for you, passing things like tuition-free college for working-class families, rideshare protections for our Uber and Lyft drivers, and the legalization of fentanyl testing strips. But this summer, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me because we deserve nice things in Minneapolis too. To make an affordable Minneapolis that works for everyone, we need a mayor that works as hard as you do. I'm ready to work hard to 1. Build a Minneapolis that working people can afford to call home. 2. Protect our city from a hostile White House. And 3. Diversify our city's public safety response. By increasing the minimum wage to $20 by 2028 and passing rent stabilization to stop price gouging and incentivizing new construction, we can protect workers. Protecting all of our communities from Donald Trump means not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for an immigration raid or not. Our residents deserve a mayor that will stand up to Donald Trump and say,
protecting all our communities from Donald Trump. Just put him in. Just come on. We could just walk him out in handcuffs already. We can just ought to just walk him out in handcuffs already, man. You know. They about to be lucky Rick ain't a part. Rick ain't the top of the. I'm telling you, if I was one of, I'm telling you, I would have been making an example out of so many people, man. Yeah. What you say? You said, but we got you right here. What you say right there? What you say? But you said this. Come again? Yeah, we would have took you in and got good old clips for the media. Good old clips for the fake news.
no, not in our community. Did you know that the city's own data showed that 47% of calls to MPD can be diverted to non-police response? Cops aren't social workers. Investments in programs like these ensure that the appropriate response arrives that detracts from community safety. All week about
policies that are promulgated now by the AOC wing of the Democratic Party. I think it has a lot of appeal with younger people. You know, once people start growing up, they get older, they realize that this stuff doesn't work. But, you know, when you're in your 20s and maybe...
It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It just don't work. I think they ought to put them in handcuffs and walk them out. Do everybody a favor early.
Early 30s, you still are a bit idealistic and you think that money is free and it comes from nowhere and you can just get it and give it to people who need it. I mean, it sounds great, you know? So anyway, I want y'all to let me know, who do you think's going to win? Do you think Mr. Fateh, do you think he can have any shot against the performance actor that is Mr. Fry? I mean, Mr. Fry can break down and cry, y'all. I mean, you know, that's got to mean something to the voters, right? Let me know what y'all think in the comments before you do.
We hate to break it to you, sir. We wish it grew on trees. We wish that we could just put a tree down and plant it and the money would grow on the tree. Just doesn't work that way, sir. I think they ought to revoke his citizenship and deport you. I think they ought to deport this brother. Yeah, revoke his citizenship and deport him. That's what I think they ought to do. They should make an example out of him. Make an example out of him. Yeah. But good luck. Good luck. It just gets worse and worse and worse for Democrats.